preventing players under 16 from buying loot boxes without parental approval. Gentlemen, it may in fact be over. That's bad. That's really bad. This is so stupid. No, it's not. In my opinion, I think that any game that sells something with uncertain odds should be classified as gambling and should not be accessible in any capacity by a minor. It's that simple. This is fine. FIFA isn't. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Anyway, we'll get into it. FTC says Genshin Impact deceived. Genshin Impact deceived children, teens, and other players into spending hundreds of dollars on prizes they stood little chance of winning. Let me tell you something. So true. Somebody at the FTC lost their 50-50. And now we're getting real change. That's right, gentlemen. It's happening. And so what really matters here, and so this is the following changes that have to happen to Genshin Impact. Let's take a look at it. Children under 16 will not be able to purchase loot boxes without parental consent. Massive. All loot boxes available for purchase with virtual currency will also be made available for direct purchase using real money. Wow. Loot box odds and exchange rates for multi-tiered virtual currency will have to be accurately disclosed and not misrepresented. Any personal information collected from players under the age of 13 will be deleted. This is the COPPA, that's COPPA, which is 13 and below. You can't have their data. And regulations, including its notice to consent requirements, will be complied with. So there we go, gentlemen. Things are looking very bad for the waifu collectors.
Keeping Wakanda's spiritual traditions alive.
Yeah, and the FTC, obviously, they haven't gone through a bunch of the other games. Now, what I find to be very frustrating about this is actually something that I saw a little bit ago, is that I think Genshin Impact is getting, they're getting a little bit of the short end of the stick. And this is kind of what's happened to TikTok as well. The deception Americans can't read. While I do think limiting purchases for children is a good thing, I feel this speaks more to a parenting issue. Also, we all know they're doing this because it's a Chinese game, because EA games are out there doing just fine. Why is it that FIFA can do this, but Genshin Impact can't? What's the problem here? How has this happened? Yeah, it's not a parenting issue. It absolutely is a parenting issue. If your kids are spending your money and you don't know what to do, if you can't control your kid using your credit card, you are a retarded fucking parent and you should have never had kids. Like, I'm sorry. But you're so fucking stupid. I am not, like, of course these rules should be there, and yes, absolutely. Like, there's plenty of rules that you have to have, because it's not okay for the companies to take advantage of kids that have bad parents. But it's also, I'm not going to just say that it's entirely the company's fault. Because if you're a bad parent and you're letting your kid do this, no, I'm sorry, I'm not going to blame this on Genshin Impact, right? Kids steal credit cards. If your kid is stealing, I would not even dream in a million years of stealing my parents' credit cards. Like, that is an insane thing to do. And the kids that do that are probably, like, their parents are probably trash and garbage. And so it's a crime. Yes, exactly. And also, they could immediately refund it, too. So any game, so this is the policy that a lot of these video games have, is that they will refund purchases, but it will ban the account. So, like, they said, okay, well, you can have your money back, but you're getting your account banned. So, at that point, where's the problem? So now the parent is letting the kid spend the money, and they're not getting the refund because, well, they don't want the kid to lose the account after they stole your fucking credit card and spent money on it? And I'm supposed to blame the company? Really? Like, I'm supposed to blame the company for this? Are you kidding me?
That's 3.
Oh my God.
Shaking again. Focus.
Yeah, it's a perfect punishment. Yes, exactly.
Their team's
This is
capture
crazy.
progress has passed the halfway point.
Don't you see an issue in then implementing age limitations on the internet? Identifying the age of minors means age and identity verification for all users, also adults. Also, no more anonymous gaming. There was never anonymous gaming when you're paying for something with a credit card. You give your information by paying for something because they check the information.
By
with
the
bank.
eye of Agamotto! By the eye of
What are
Agamotto!
you talking about anonymous? Anyway, yeah, that's already known. Anyway, Dr. Chatter, yeah, I see your point of view, and I think that you have, in abstract, you have a point of view. I think you have a good point, but that's not in this circumstance, right? That's it. That's what, what's this here? And that's what belts are invented for? No, I don't believe in hitting your kids. If you hit your kids, you're a retard. I also, we have happening I love Jijiang. I think it's great, but I don't want to do 3 seconds of the video. I can't wait to watch it. It's going to be exciting. Please stop doing that. If you spam in my chat asking me to do the same things constantly, that's somebody you need the belt for, right? But if you hit your kid, you're a retard. That's the way I would get it. So it's that simple. Even spanking and hitting, there's no difference. And anyway, so let's go back and we're going to look at a few more things with this Genshin Impact topic and talk about it. So basically, Genshin Impact is getting regulated. This is something that is long overdue, okay? It's needed sometimes. Well, yeah, it's needed in the instances of parents being inadequate. No, you're right. There are times where parents are inadequate, they can't garner respect, they can't demand respect from their kid, and they have to hit their kid with threat of violence because they can't earn that respect themselves. No, it's very true. But, you know, it's still
30
not
seconds
defensible.
before you attack.
It's
Get
absolutely
ready.
not. Anyway, we can talk about this more. Anybody, by the way, if you're crying about it or whatever, there's a reason why corporal punishment and physical punishment is illegal for kids in a lot of places now, like, for example, Sweden.
Bast has
And
spoken.
so it's a good thing.
I am in her service.
Again, also one final thing about this topic.
battle
If you
starts
hit
in
your
5,
kids, what you do is you
4,
teach them that
3,
conflict resolution,
2,
one way of
1.
conflict resolution is violence.
All you need to do
I
is
wonder if
capture
that's
the
going to be
mission
useful
area.
for your kid
Got it?
growing up. I wonder. So yeah, great idea. Keep doing that. That way you can, I mean, we've got these minimum requirements for prisons, and so, fuck, I guess we should be saying thank you to all the parents that do that. Anyway, let's go back over, we'll look at the rest of it. And Genshin Impact fine 20 million from loot boxes to teams without parental approval. I hate it when gotcha players say, oh, you don't have to spend any money, or this gotcha game exists from the gotcha. It's like, yeah, sure, buddy, as if that's the only problem with these kinds of games. Well, listen, if you're playing a gotcha game, you are signing up to be a dick eater.
A nice deep
That's it.
freeze.
You are signing up to be a dick eater. That's all there is to it. I think that if you have kids getting
By the eye of Agamotto!
that's a totally new topic. And I think it's a huge fucking problem. Because like, and this is a big issue, that the majority of games that are advertised to kids, or sorry, the majority of games that have loot boxes that are in like the Apple and like the Google Play Store, the majority of the ones that have loot boxes are
A
accessible
nice
to
deep
children.
freeze.
And loot boxes do simulate gambling. They're not gambling, but they are close to gambling. And I think that they do simulate that
Gained in
experience.
the material plane.
So yeah. And doesn't that mean that you're supposed to be a child eater? Yeah. I can taste for money. Absolutely. Sometimes they taste good even. Yesterday it was delicious. But the fact is that doesn't change the fact that I know what I'm eating. Yeah. I know what it is. I mean, these games are, this is the way these games are. That's how it always is. They're the gateway to gambling? Yeah, they're the gateway to gambling, the same that weed is a gateway to heroin. Oh, by the way, yesterday I saw a fence. You know, you don't see a lot of them in Austin, or at least like you haven't for a while. I was walking up to get some food, and they were getting this sign about a lighter. I was like, no, but I don't have a lighter. And then, you know, that was about it. The rare spawn, yeah, maybe there's more up here. You don't go out there, everyone. I usually don't see them a whole lot. I usually, to be honest, I usually leave my house twice a day. I usually like once a day in like like a meaningful way to like drive more than like to the gas station. But yeah, I usually leave the house almost every day. So I don't know about that. Go walking? Yeah, I guess so. You probably thought you were one of them. Yeah, I guess so. And anyway, so this is what's happening, is that the FTC is going to be doing this, and I think it's going to keep happening, and it's going to be more and more common that more and more people that are involved in regulation will understand the way that these games are trying to target children. Because what's happening right now is that a lot of these companies, they're getting away with it because the regulatory forces don't understand the video games and they don't get what's going on. Because they're not playing the games, they don't understand it at all. Now they are. Here we go. So, this is it, Go Away Back Me. Yeah, do you think Valve will change? Valve will, I have no idea. And so, people are talking about this a lot. Not to defend a multi-billion-dollar company, but aren't the gacha mechanics explained in the game? If you're allowing your kids to spend your money in a gacha game, then that's just bad parenting. I'm sorry. I think this guy is totally fucking right. So both things can be true. If your kids are taking your money and spending it without you knowing, you're a shitty parent, but they're also making a shitty game. So you don't need to decide one thing is right and one thing isn't right. They're both right and they're both young. That's it. Or it's a smart kid. No, it's not a smart kid. If you're getting outsmarted by your kids spending money in Genshin Impact, well, for one, if your kid was smart, they wouldn't be doing this in the first place, okay? So let's just get that right out of the way. Anyway, we'll look at a few more of these too. Yeah, kid, thanks. Yeah, let's be a little bit smarter about this, right? What a coincidence, they're targeting a Chinese company and not going after the American gaming companies like Blizzard. Well, EA is the bad one because they're the ones. So FTC is looking at the children. Gotcha, this is unacceptable. Yeah, sure. FTC, you stupid motherfuckers. They're not trying to appeal the children, they're trying to appeal to me. No, this is retarded. Games like Genshin Impact are absolutely targeted towards underage people. Like, I'm not saying that that's the only people that play it, or they're only allowing kids to play it, or even most people that play it are kids. But there is a big contingency of them that are kids, and to say otherwise is so fucking delusional, I can't even imagine. How are you fucking gonna say that's not true? It's not about the children, they don't give a fuck about this, it's all about me. I think so too. And anyway, so let's do over here. We'll look at a couple more of these. The US is coming to every Chinese soft power win TikTok. Gaming the game it? Yep, I think that's exactly it. I think that Genshin Impact is being targeted primarily because they are a Chinese company. And the fact is that FIFA, whatever Genshin Impact does, FIFA does it way worse and to a much higher degree. China's allowed to buy out American and Western-owned companies, where the vice versa can't happen. That's something totally different. Like, we're talking about two separate things. Anyway, with this, I think it's a huge issue. Like, gacha games are a big issue. I think that it should be illegal to sell a item inside of a video game that you don't know what you're buying. Period. If you ever spend money on an outcome in a video game that is not certain, that should not be money. Gods once in a blue moon, right? It's just gambling. Well, yes, it is. It's functionally gambling. It's not the same as casino gambling, but it is gambling. That's such a retarded take. Why? Like, I mean, again, if you guys, if people disagree, that's fine. But you have to explain why. Saying you're wrong just gets you banned. There's gambling ads in the stadium where the children are. Yes, but the children are not able to actively go and gamble themselves. That's the difference. These games are accessible to children in a way that gambling on websites and gambling in casinos is not accessible. How much fault would you put in the company and the parents? I think that I don't think that you have to choose. I think that if your kids are getting addicted to gacha games and they're losing their money on gacha games, you failed as a parent and you're stupid. And you're an inadequate, dumb parent, and, you know, apparently that's genetic. Because you've got kids that are addicted to a gacha waifu selection, right? So there's definitely that. And then there's also the companies that are trying to farm these kids and trying to take advantage of them. And so I feel like they're, and also, if you want to act like, oh, well, they're just trying to hurt kids, it's not that big of a deal, look at this. example,
Good
China
medicine.
introduced
We got it.
rules on reducing spending inside of video games that primarily targeted children, and it caused Tencent, one of the biggest companies in the world, to lose over 10%. Some people are saying 12, some people are saying 16% of their stock. And they rolled it back because of how damaging it was. No way China targeting China? Yeah, but they rolled it back though, that's the thing. And so for you to say that, like, it's very clear that it's built around underage people spending money unknowingly without them understanding what they're doing. And I just wanted to show you, like, that's an example of, like, what happens. So I'll look at a few more of these, and it's almost like you guys forgot Gotcha is a game to create money. It's
I'm opening a portal.
Jesus Christ, how stupid. Anyway, let's see if there's anything else that's interesting to look at about this. Dev Screen, the FTC is weekly, Chichi, Fiona, and Paimon are targeting children.
I am
It is.
strengthened for battle.
Like Genshin Impact undeniably targets underage people. Like it's undeniably targeted towards people who are underage. Like if I saw a game like Genshin Impact, I would say that the target audience is 14.
Ancient
sure.
one, I hope my successes
Like, how are
make
we
you
even talking
proud.
about this? Absolutely, that's the case. It doesn't mean that adults don't play it too, but like the entire style of the game, the way that like the topics that are covered in the game, generally like with a lot of these Gotcha games, they're not like high-end topics, right? More like 16, 18. I'd say 14. But you know, I guess it really depends. But anyway, the FTC is focusing on lockdown here. The Impact received 14 teams and other characters. Okay, there you go. Probability of obtaining characters in these banners. Gotcha games are avaricious by nature, but this isn't deception. No way Genshin Impact made the US government actually do something good for the industry. Man. Hopefully this is what's next. This is what should be next.
Their team's captured past the halfway point.
I think that that's a logical interpretation, but I feel like you could... It's a lot easier to look at digital items because there's no logical reason why a digital item needs to be randomized, whereas there could be a logical reason why a physical item needs to be randomized. So with digital ownership is like, it's not real. Like, digital ownership isn't really. It's just like... And with physical product, it's very different. So I think that you bring up a good point with things like, you know, like trading cards, but I think it's focusing on the low-hanging fruit first, which is these online video games that simulate the same exact thing. Trading cards are a tangible object. They're a tangible object that you also own, right? Yeah, there we go. Gotchas to be banned after TikTok. Oh boy.
Good medicine.
Oh boy, oh boy. Probably not going to happen, but I just think it's really funny.
That one hurt.
EA generated $1.6 billion in revenue last year just from Ultimate Team modes. But hey guys, Genshin Impact is the problem. Keep that in mind, okay? You can prove there's X amount of Charizards in circulation too. Rates of gotcha pulls are more mysterious. Yeah, and you can't reverse engineer them either. And you also don't have ownership of the character. So like when you, like this is a big thing that a lot of people don't really understand, is that when you buy something in a video game, you're buying a license to use that can be revoked at any